Welcome back to America Right Now. As the nation marked 22 years since the terror attacks of September 11, 2001, President Biden lied. He lied about his whereabouts in the aftermath of the attack. That was outrageous, but unfortunately, that wasn't the worst of it. His foreign policy team used the day to announce a deal with the world's deadliest and most prolific state sponsor of terrorism. 5 Americans held hostage by Iran traded for 5 high-value Iranian prisoners who tried to steal our nuclear technology, and $6 billion. $6 billion. What do the liberal foreign policy think tankers believe this money is going to be used for? Women's empowerment programs? Climate change initiatives? Oh, I got it. EV charging stations. Maybe they'll plant trees with it, Mr. President. No. It's going to fund terrorism. It's going to fund weapons production that will be used against the Ukrainians and threaten Israel. It will free up more resources to feed a network of Islamic terror groups that stretch into Europe, Africa, and the Americas. Of course, the administration is going to say the money is in a Qatari restricted bank account, so it can be monitored. But everybody knows money is fungible. More money means more money. And when it comes to Iran, that means more money for terror operations. Pallets of cash to the mullahs was former President Obama's foreign policy legacy. After 8 years of George W. Bush killing terrorists in dozens of countries, the Obama administration changed our priorities in a way that created greater instability in the Middle East and North Africa. Mr. Obama abandoned Iraq to the influence of Iran and Islamic terror groups. He embraced the Arab Spring as a victory over Islamism while running into the arms of the Islamic Brotherhood. Mr. Obama negotiated a sweetheart deal with the mullahs that would provide an easy on-ramp for them to obtain nuclear capabilities while they were all out there pledging death to America and death to Israel. President Obama's other desperate Iran deal in the waning days of his presidency exchanged 4 prisoners for $400 million. Mr. Obama would ultimately allow access to $1.7 billion entirely in cash to the terror regime, much of it interest on the money that we have held since the Islamic Revolution. When pressed about the massive cash payments, one Obama Treasury official, who should get some sort of spin doctor award, said the cash payments were necessary because the U.S. sanctions were just so effective we couldn't actually transfer them the money electronically. The Obama payments were also made in non-U.S. currency, so they couldn't be tracked easily. Enter stage left President Joe Biden, whose team has given us the largest ground war in Europe since World War II, and he says, "Hold my Bud Light." During Biden's time in office, the Iraqis released $10 billion in formerly frozen assets to Iran. The United States could have stopped that transaction, but it didn't. Mr. Obama handed Afghanistan lock, stock, and barrel over to an Islamic terrorist organization. He even gave them $7 billion of American military equipment on the way out. Mr. Biden's latest Iran deal is also a slap in the face for the only functioning liberal democracy and our greatest ally in the region. Israel now continues its standoff with Iran, which will have billions more to leverage against them. To put the $6 billion into perspective, Mr. Biden's foreign military assistance request for Israel for fiscal year 2023 was $3.3 billion plus $500 million more for Iron Dome defense assistance. This year, Biden transferred more resources to Tehran than Tel Aviv. Now, look, the left is going to explain this away, saying it's not our money, we froze the assets or otherwise prevented the terror regime from accessing it. But you and I both know cash is king. The Iranian regime leaders are brutal criminals who have waged war not only on their own people, but against people in dozens of countries. Hamas, Hezbollah, Al-Qaeda, remnants of ISIS, and other groups will benefit from this deal. Mr. Biden helping to fund their operations in this way is akin to being an accessory to mass murder. And to make it even more idiotic, the administration is now offering a security guarantee to Saudi Arabia while dumping cash into the kingdom's biggest security threat, a nuclear Iran. According to Biden, we couldn't deter Russia's invasion of Ukraine because it would have started World War III. Now, after tens of thousands of people have been killed, we are giving billions of dollars to one of Russia's closest allies who will use that money to build military equipment to kill more civilians and destroy U.S. military hardware. The Middle East Research Institute reported that $15.7 billion since the 1979 revolution has been paid to Iran in exchange for prisoners. The vast majority of those payments were made by Democrat presidents. President Biden's Iran deal, folks, it imperils not only our national security, but the safety of every American living abroad and the cause of defeating Islamic terrorism in all of its forms. No more ransoms. No more negotiating with terrorists. What we need to get back to is eliminating them.